As we continue to muddle our way through this pandemic that has now claimed the lives of more than 700,000 Americans, more and more drug companies are coming out with what they think could be viable treatments for COVID. And that's really great news. That's been one of the hardest parts about this is we really don't have any, ironclad treatments for COVID-19. Yes, we got the vaccines in record time, but unvaccinated people who get the disease, there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do. And that's why we have so much death from it. But there are new drugs out there. And one of those new drugs from Merck is called Molnupiravir. And it's a drug that only costs $17.74 to produce. And in the clinical trials that they have come out with so far, things have looked really good. They've reduced hospitalization rates. It's helping people get over COVID quicker. $17.74. Oh, and by the way, this drug was actually created with federal money, $29 million from the federal government, from our paychecks, made this drug. And it looks like it's doing well. So how much is Merck charging the United States for this drug? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Because Merck is charging for a 5-day course of the drugs here in the United States, $712. $712 for a drug that costs $17.74 to produce that was created with $29 million of our money. And this is all according to a phenomenal new report, by the way, by Sharon Lerner in The Intercept. They are charging 40 times more than what it cost them to produce the drug that they really didn't even have to pay to develop. So it's not like they have to recoup a lot of R&D costs like they always tell us, right? Oh, well, the research and development into this was so great, we got to pay ourselves back, otherwise we go under and then you've got nothing. No, they used our money. That federal income tax you see coming out of your paychecks, that money you pay to the IRS every April, that's what was used to develop this drug that they're now selling back to us at 40 times the cost to produce. And I wish this were the only case of this. I wish we were talking about this because this was an anomaly among the pharmaceutical companies, but it's not. It's standard operating procedure at this point. We have certain drugs here in the United States where the markup is over 200,000%. Pap and I have talked about that many times over the years on many different programs here at Ring of Fire. But some drugs marked up 20,000% or 200,000%, because they literally at this point cost pennies to produce a pill, but it's sold back to us at a couple $100 a pill. And this Molnupiravir, however you pronounce it, is going to be no different. And it sucks because, this could be a life-saving medication. This could be one of our tickets to finally end the pandemic. If we're finally able to not freak out when somebody has COVID because, oh no, you got COVID. Okay, well, you go ahead and take this and you'll be good in about 4 or 5 days. Good for you. If we can get to that part, we can get back to our regular lives. All these anti-maskers can stop flipping out because you may not have to wear a mask on a plane anymore. But we're not going to get back to that point if it costs Americans an arm and a leg just to buy a 5-day course of this medication. But the pharmaceutical companies don't give a damn. They'd rather see the rich people live anyway. This is one of many reasons, why it is so important that we get lower drug prices here in the United States. And I know the Build Back Better Act would allow for the negotiation of certain drug prices under Medicare, and that is a good first step, but that is only a first step. It needs to extend to everybody, because anyone under the age of 65 also needs to be able to afford their medication. This is obscene, but unfortunately, it's an entirely predictable move on behalf of Merck. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.